Yo, YouTube, you could be anywhere in this world, but you're right here with us. So thank you for joining us. I'm Chris. This is Dave. And I like to start this video by saying just recently, me and Dave were hosted at Pure Trading. Pure Trading has this nice little forex talk show called Midnight Trader, and we were just there recently. What day was it, Dave?
I believe it was a Thursday.
Thursday, and it was the first time I actually met Mark and Rustam as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and provide a link. It'll be in our description, so you guys can check that out. It was such a good time meeting Mark, and fortunately, Dave had some technical difficulties, but we both made it, and I'm just glad that we were invited to that. So if Rustam, you see this, or Mark, thank you so much for having both of us. I had
Yeah,
such a good time, yo.
dude. Honestly, that was a blast. Just being in a group of brilliant and like-minded traders, being able to just talk all things trading related, working through some charts, some setups, and just really discussing a lot of the things of what it takes to become a trader. That shit was a blast. So Rustam, Mark, thank you for having us. It was an honor and a pleasure, and we hope to do it again sometime. And we hope for all of you that were part of that show or that podcast, you were able to extract some gems of wisdom that can help you move forward in your trading career. But with that said, this is Chris and David and Chris, head traders at Traders Creed. Hope all is well. As always, peeps, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever the hell you are in our tiny blue planet. We got something fucking awesome to talk about, man. Chris and I, sometimes we don't know how we do it, but we fucking do it, man. We do. So it was an amazing, stellar trading week last week in regards to the Euro Japanese yen. We want to basically recap. This is just going to be a quick recap video, and then we want to talk about a lot of these psychological and mental variables and elements that go to, or that go into becoming a trader and being a trader, and most importantly, when you're in a trade. Because when you're losing money, or hell, even making money, your emotions will be engaged. You are going to be making some very difficult decisions while you're in a trade. And most of the time, when you're stimulated in a manner that distorts your ability to make high quality decisions, you begin treading in murky waters. So we want to go ahead and show you a recap of what happened last week with the Euro Yen. It was just a phenomenal week, a phenomenal trade, phenomenal idea. And then I want to go ahead and get into a lot of what goes into becoming a trader, because I feel a lot of the mental aspects of trading don't get spoken about very often. And, there's a reason why 90% of traders are failing, is because most of us are all really going through the same, if not similar types of situations or experiences that keep us losing money time and time again, that prevent us from facilitating progress and moving forward. So we're going to go ahead and discuss that. And then Chris is going to go ahead and break down a chart just for a little treat, so we give you guys something to work with for the week. Hell, we might even throw you an idea with the Euro Yen as well. We're just going to try to keep this video as brief as possible, but at this point, whatever happens, happens. So with that said, Chris, I don't know if you want to go ahead and pull up our Discord and just scroll back to the week where we took the Euro Yen long and how it played out and results, man, because that's what we do. Pre-trade, live trade, results, rinse and fucking repeat. That's what we doing here, man. We don't beat around the fucking bush. We don't dick around. We got nothing to hide, man. We reveal our wins and our losses. And that's just the business, man. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. But if you have edge, you know what the hell you're doing, you're going to win more than you lose. Plain and simple. So stick to your guns, trust your method, have faith in yourself, and most importantly, have fun with this shit, man. Because I'm telling you, I haven't had a 5-figure week in a while. It's been a while since I've had a 5-figure week like this. And I'm in the process of slowly scaling. Mind you, this is not to brag or to boast, but once you begin to develop yourself as a trader, the beautiful thing about the markets is that your income potential is not capped. It's not limited. I truly believe that the markets will reward you for your level of skill, and experience, and if you're being consistent and you're slowly and incrementally scaling over time, you don't need to be taking a bunch of fucking random trades. You just focus on a few high quality trades and decisions throughout the week that are very high, that have high statistical outcomes. And if they're sized up very well, you can make several months worth of income, which we're going to show you in here in just a little bit. So we're going to walk you through I believe that was a Euro USD. So that was a little bit after. But we will walk you guys through the Euro Yen. We'll give us just a second, guys.
Yeah, I actually don't think, Dave, you ended up posting your price chart on it.
Really?
Yeah, I think you just ended up sending us the results. You know what I think you did, Dave? I think you might have posted it on your Instagram.
That was probably it. I feel like I'm pretty sure I posted it in here as well. But either way, I mean, you guys saw the fucking YouTube video anyways.
Exactly.
That's the important thing. You guys saw what the fuck we were going to do. We were going to short the Euro Yen. So if the chart is not up here, we broke that shit down in a prior video. So go ahead and take a look at that.
Oh, you know what? You posted August 19th. You entered it August 19th. So I actually didn't go that back. But yeah, because, you know, we've been pretty active the last week on our.
Yeah, we're probably going to be scrolling for a while. So fuck that, man. You guys saw the goddamn video. If you haven't, go check it out. We took a short on it anyways. The important thing is that we did a pre-analysis. We entered the live trade. I signaled to the guys, yo, this is where we're taking the short, man. This is our time. This is our opportunity to act. We took it, and it was testing my patience for a little bit. We were walking through that. I was saying, man, this Euro Yen, it's not moving in our favor. It's really just trying to work those highs, that little range. And then the next morning when I woke up after I executed the trade, that shit just went straight to oblivion. It sunk like a stone. And I was in and out of my trades really, really quickly. And then I started to add to my positions as I started to see it move in our favor. And man, just that process of just extracting and milking that idea as much as I possibly could well within my risk controls.
Founded it.
There we go. I know I fucking posted it, man. I posted it somewhere. There you guys have it, man. There you guys have it. We took that short. Look at those accurate fucking entries that I took. As price breached that little range around the 125, 700, right above that, and it closed back below it, that's when I took my shorts. My stop was right above those highs. As it started to move in my favor, we got that little mini stop hunt right there past the 125, 585. And it continued to move in our favor. I broke even. My first target was made. I added more to the position after we saw it close below that price point, and it made all the fucking targets. That was the first initial target. We made 2,000 on that puppy. And then, there you go. I'm at break even, so risk is off the tables and final targets set. Eyes on the prize, Keith. Let's close this week strong. You bet your ass we close this strong, my guys. So Cris and I think the reason that makes us very unique, oh God, dude, when I just see that, I don't even care about the fucking money anymore, bro. It's just when you see your ideas come into fruition, you just get this little thrill when you're anticipating market moves in a very accurate and precise way, man. It hits you differently. The money's great. I'll take the fucking money. Thank you. But it's not as exciting as watching you actually generate ideas, watching those ideas come into fruition, you executing off those ideas, and most importantly, man, having your fucking team win with you. Like, if any of you on our YouTube took that trade and made money, awesome, man. I'm so happy for all of you. Any guys in our Discord took that trade and made money, I'm extremely happy. As always, this is never financial advice. Manage your risk accordingly. Take all your trades at your own discretion. But that net, out of all the trades that I took, we closed the week at $10,000, man. That was a big week for me. Once again, it's not I'm not the guy that's going to be like, oh yeah, it's another day at the office. I don't make 5-figure sums on a weekly basis, but I played that trade so fucking good, so well. And I was, we just milked the shit out of it, man. And it paid us really, really well. I made several months worth of income on that trade, and I'm happy. That was the only fucking trade that I took. After that, I saw an opportunity on the Euro USD, which I posted right there for the guys. Pre-analysis, guys. We always post this shit. We go back to the video where we discuss the basic steps that we look for. We got a break of structure, impulse move, confirmed range. We saw our trap. We were waiting for that. Is that the Euro USD? Boom. We acted on that fucking trade too. Look at that. Look at that. We can't bullshit this, man. We don't beat around the bush here. It's like the one thing that I want to get across to you. I know the whole social media scene and the whole YouTube scene, like, I've been in the industry long enough to know there's just a lot of bullshit out there. Cris and I, we started off this venture to try to give you guys a much more realistic viewpoint on what it takes to become a trader. This is a very ruthless and difficult profession. The money is great, yes, but there are going to be things that we're going to discuss in a little bit that are a little bit more darker and grimmer when it comes to the realities of trading. You know, you can't be so quick to believe everything on the internet. My problem with a lot of these fucking gurus out there and stuff like that, and I think in our first video that we ever posted on our Instagram, not our Instagram, our YouTube, Cris and I, we were just kind of picking a bone with a lot of these, you know, self-proclaimed gurus. The problem is that they don't show you how to fucking trade. They just flash money at you. They teach you very simplistic shit that you could fucking Google. Like, oh yeah, you know, support means buy, resistance means sell. Okay, dude, thank you. But how do you fucking make money out of that? We're showing you guys how to make money. You know, I don't know what else to do, man. And that basic training video, by the way, thank you so much for all the love and support in the comments. We greatly appreciate that. We took a look at that. We hope that helps. That's the way we view the markets. It's not the right way. It's not the best way. We're not wrong. We're not right. It's just the way that we view things that make sense to us. And Cris and I, we put it into a framework, a checklist that makes us money. We apply it on 90% of our trades. You know, so, and it's not always going to be a perfect environment. That's what I want you guys to understand. So I'm very grateful for the money that I've made last week. Cris and I, we've all been killing the fucking markets. But I want to go ahead and talk about a lot of what I felt when I was in that trade and when I was really playing that trade. Mind you guys, when you got some sizable amount of money at risk, you know, it was still well within my risk controls, but I'm still at a stage where I'm still developing and scaling myself up little by little. Even when you make money, it's still a very stimulating experience, and not necessarily in a positive way. There's a lot of stress that you have to undergo. I know a lot of traders out there make it seem like, oh yeah, you know, making a couple grand here and there is just like another walk in the park. I'm here to tell you, man, at least that's not my experience. Maybe it is for other guys, but for me and Cris, when you have sizable amounts of money on the line, this shit is stressful because it's real fucking money that you're risking. Money that if you lose, say we lose like $1,000, $2,000, I could have bought something fucking nice for myself. I could have taken out my family out to dinner. I could have done so many other things with that money other than donate it to the fucking markets. That's what I want you guys to understand. When you are risking real money, sizable amounts of money on the line, it's not an easy thing to overcome. It's not an easy thing to go through. Maybe over time we'll get better at dealing with it, but I'm an emotional person. I'm humble to admit that. I know that that's just who I am. At times it is a strength, at times it is a weakness, but I am aware to the point where I try my absolute best to manage myself. That's going to set me up for the best outcomes of success. And it was a very difficult thing going through that, but I was so hyper focused when I was in that trade, man. I'm telling you, I was up at all hours of the day. I know they say don't be looking at your P&L, but if I'm honest, I was looking at my P&L. I'm like, man, dude, this thing is moving in my favor. Is it still going to move in my anticipated direction? When do I break even? How long until my first target is made? You know, do I add more? And if I add more, am I willing to increase or you know, go outside my risk controls? There's so many things that you have to think about when you're engaging in the markets. I don't believe, Cris and I, we've banged about this fucking over and over. There is no black and white cookie cutter 1, 2, 3 step approach to this shit. Because if there was, we'd all be fucking trillionaires. We'd all be hauling money from the market's ass like nobody's business. It doesn't work like that.
And it's so important to bang on the psychological factors, Dave, especially when you're in a trade, because most of these girls, they don't touch up on that at all. They just give you a trade they took that worked out, and they give you their profits. That's pretty much it. You're not really learning, and they're not walking you step by step of what it really feels like to be in a trade.
Exactly. It's always a cherry pick trade. It's always Lambos in your face. How I'm at the five-star hotel. How I'm traveling the world, guys. I'm here to tell you, man. Even though that I make some great money trading, I don't go out and dick around all that much, man. The reason I'm able to make that money is because I'm the guy that's willing to sacrifice all the fun stuff to get this shit down. Sure, I'm very grateful at the fact that I have a lot of time on my hands to do whatever the fuck I want. But you know what I choose to do at that time? To sharpen myself, to better myself, improve myself, to figure out. I'm always telling myself, how can I be better than the next guy that's fucking taking money from me? What is it that they know that I don't know? What is it that they're doing that I'm not doing? And that's not fun. Nothing about that is fun. But if you want to make that kind of money, well, that's what you got to do. It's not always about fucking, and dude, even when I make that money, I actually save it. I don't go out and blow that shit at the clubs. I don't go out and do dumb shit with my money. All the money that I make from trading, I allocate it into longer term investments. I hold it in cash just in case I want to size up a little bit more. Yes, I am in a very fortunate position. I don't have kids. I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have a wife. I don't got all these burdens. Fuck, I don't even own a car, bro, because I'm so dedicated to this shit. I'm in wealth building mode right now. My youth is being utilized to set my fucking future. So I'm okay. When I hit 30, when I hit 40, dude, I'm gonna be fucking okay. I'm gonna have dividends coming from everywhere. I'm gonna have cash flow streams coming from everywhere. And trading, it's just a matter of literally just developing that fucking consistency for yourself and then slowly scaling when you deserve, keyword that when you deserve to scale. You don't just scale up just because you can. Just because your broker offers you that leverage doesn't mean you go balls to the walls on every trade. Just because your bank gives you a $10,000 credit card limit doesn't go mean be a dumbass and rack that shit up. It means be wise, be intelligent, do what you have to do in order to make sure that you're moving forward. But most people, they're not willing to do that because they have distorted perceptions of what it takes to be a trader. And guess what? You are going to hit some rough patches as a trader. You are going to go through some dark times as a trader. It's not always just glitz and glamours. You know, I know Cris and I, we've shown you a lot of good setups, some good trades, or at least we like to think we have. But there are moments where we have defeats and it sucks. There are moments where we just have to grit it out. I think the qualities that separate successful traders from unsuccessful ones are grit, determination, being highly organized, highly meticulous, extremely disciplined, being strategic, cunning, having proper fiscal habits, responsibility with your money. If you can't even manage a couple $100 or $1,000 with the money that you already make, how the fuck do you expect to handle larger amounts of money? If you are not responsible with what you currently have or make, how the fuck do you expect to handle larger amounts? But that's what the industry teaches you, that anybody could just come in here and make millions. It don't work like that, man. You have to be, I think the last quality as well is courage, man. You have to have the courage to not only embark in the markets, but as well as to be able to continue moving and pushing forward through the dark times that you will inevitably face.
The courage to stick to your method, Dave.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, because there's so many times where you may doubt yourself as a trader, not necessarily the method, but the way you're applying yourself to the method. And you really got to go through those rough times to really prove to yourself that you know what you're doing. Because I think at the end of the day, when you enter a trade in the market, it still kind of feels like you're shooting in the dark. No matter how sound you feel about the trade, it still feels like you're shooting in the dark.
Yeah, man, exactly. It's that the thing about the financial markets is that you can never be. Cris and I, we have this saying, man, that we always tell our guys when it comes to risk management. You can never be 100% right in the markets, but you can always be 100% wrong. Meaning you will, every time you take a trade or you engage in the financial markets, you don't truly know everything. But the one thing's for certain, that you can be fucking wrong and that you probably will lose money. So you always have to you have to respect the financial markets. You have to view the markets like a lion in a cage. And whenever you execute that trade, that you're fucking poking your finger inside the cage. One day you're going to get your fucking finger bitten off, man, if you ain't careful. And there's a thrill. There's a thrill about that. But it can be very costly sometimes if you aren't careful and you don't know what you're doing. So, yeah, man, I'm glad I had that big week. But I want you guys to know it wasn't like it was an easy thing to undergo. There was still a lot of thought process that went into that. There was times where I doubted myself, where I just wanted to take profit way more quickly. I didn't want to let my targets run. This is all shit that you're going to undergo. Surely, Chris and I, we can't be the only ones, because we're really not that special from anybody else. We're just, we hope that we give off the impression that we're just everyday Joes, man. There's nothing, supernatural about us or unique. We're just two guys that commit to a craft, and that we're extremely passionate about the financial market. And our YouTube is based around the premise of just giving you guys a realistic view, a peel back in what it takes to become a real trader, the process that you have to go through, the realities of being a trader, and what the markets are, what the markets aren't. And most importantly, the mental game, the mental aspect of this business, which rarely gets spoken about. So it rarely gets spoken about because nobody wants to hear how difficult this shit is. Everybody just wants to see the money. They just want to be told, they want to be sold the dream, the lifestyle that you can quit your job tomorrow and that you can be another hotshot trader. Probably not. You probably aren't going to be. But if you are dedicated to this craft, if you're willing to do what it takes and commit to this, you might have a ghost of a chance. I truly believe that people like trades have statistical outcomes as well. I've seen some brilliant, successful people just mentally collapse before they financially collapse in this business. Why? Because the markets, they will fuck with you, man. They will fuck with you. They will shatter and break every ounce of confidence that you think you have as a man or a lady. And they will the markets are the kind of, if I were to compare the markets, it's like a Sour Patch Kid, man. They're sweet at first and then sour last. They're the kind of thing, the markets are the kind of place where they really kick the dog when it's dead, man. They throw salt on your fucking wounds. And I don't want to get, I don't want to scare you guys away from being traders, but I want you guys to come in with the right mentality of what this is and what it isn't. And even when we lose money, man, it's rough. Even when we make it, there's a lot of pressure and stress that goes into it. Maybe that's just me, maybe that's just Chris, but I would say Chris and I, the reason we get along so well is because we perceive things in a very similar fashion. We just connect with each other in a way that I can't really connect with other people, and we understand each other. And most of the time, man, it's like when we talk about markets, we're just always on the same page. And it's rare to find individuals like that. It really is. So by default, I'm just naturally an emotional person. That's just me. I'm very passionate. I love enjoying the high of my victories and the agonies of my defeats. Yeah, that's just part of it, man. It's a roller coaster. It doesn't have to be, but for us, it surely is. And even then, that's still worth it, man. It's so worth it, because there's no other greater feeling in the world knowing that you're able to do something that 90% of people can't do. Oh, man, there is something about that shit that just revs you the fuck up. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk to you guys about that. Is despite the money that we show you, understand that it's not easy. Nothing about this is easy. Chris and I are just burdened with the same emotional barriers like everybody else. Sometimes I lose my own footing. I have to ground myself back into reality. Last week, man, when I made that amount of money, I was on a high. If I'm being honest, man, money can give you a different kind of high like nothing else, bro. If I'm being honest, money is the best drug in the world. Something about that shit, you don't need an alarm clock for that shit, man. You don't need an alarm clock for that. That thing just gets you lifted real quick. And it comes with its pains when you're losing it. And when you're losing it consistently, we get that too. But we want, Chris and I, we really hope that we're doing a decent job in showing you that it is a possibility to succeed as a trader. It's just going to require some work on your part. It's going to require commitment, discipline, grit. all the stuff that I just discussed and the qualities that I personally think are going to help you excel in this business. And just because you don't have those qualities doesn't mean it disqualifies you. You can learn them. It's not easy. It's going to require that you hardwire yourself differently, but it can be done. It can be done. So that's pretty much all I have to bang, is that even when you're making money, even when you're losing money, you will doubt yourself. You will, your emotions will be clouded. Your perceptions will be distorted. You're going to feel agony. You're going to feel torment sometimes. When you're winning, you're going to feel just invigorated, revitalized. You're going to feel fucking immortal sometimes, bro. It's crazy. So the whole point of this is just don't forget to ground yourself back in reality. I think the most important thing that you could do as a trader is when you're going through a lot of these emotional extremes is just to be self-reflective and aware and ground yourself back in reality. And when you're having good times, be grateful. And when you're having bad times, step outside the markets. Go live your fucking life. I want you guys to know that there is a life outside of the markets. There's a whole world outside of the screens that's just waiting for you to experience it. Don't lose sight of that. If I'm being honest, I lose sight of it a lot. Sometimes I just lock myself. I didn't even know what the fucking coronavirus was until somebody explained it to me, because I feel like I've been in fucking quarantine for ages. Because I've just been so dedicated to my craft, I haven't had the opportunity to go out and live my life, because this is a serious business for me. That doesn't mean it's always going to be like that, but right now I'm taking advantage of the opportunities that I have right before me. So just stick to your guns, stay diligent, stay on your path, and this is a possibility for you if you're willing to do what it takes to get it. Everybody wants, but nobody's willing to do what it takes to get it. So if you're that person that is, the sky's the limit in this business. So that's pretty much a lot of the elements that I went through while I was in that trade. Yes, it was a phenomenal week, but it was a stressful week nonetheless. I'm just glad that I'm done and over with. We did take a little bit of a hit earlier in the week with the euro yen because I'm trying to long it. We have a long bias, but we'll cover that for another video. I want Cris to actually break down the trade that he's in now with the USD Canadian dollar and a lot of the psychological shit that he had to go through, the pain that he endured on this one, and the rewards of sticking to your fucking guns. So I don't know if you want to take the shit away, Cris.
Yes, sir. So I think one of the most important things, guys, after you take a trade, like Dave said, you have to ground yourself. But I think most important, you can't lose objectivity. I feel like the more you look at the price chart, the more you look at after you enter the trade, the more that the price chart and price is there to influence you. And it sucks. That's why me and Dave get into these really deep conversations, because Dave's a trader, I'm a trader. So when we talk, everything we talk about, we've been there, we've done that, and it's because we're traders. And this is where I can tell when someone is a trader who isn't, because they have no idea of what me and Dave are talking about. And that's why I know that me and Dave are not the only ones, because if I was able to meet Dave, me and Dave always say this: the market is just a shared conscious. I guarantee you everyone's feeling emotions as well.
Exactly. Beautifully put.
And we've just mastered taking advantage of some of other traders making rookie mistakes. And I think I want to walk you guys through this trade so you guys can kind of feel kind of some of the pain I was going through. So the last couple of weeks, we haven't really been posting much about the US dollar other than the euro, just because the dollar simply has been taking a dump. It's looking horrible. And I pulled up the USD CAD around the 20th, and I noticed this nice little accumulation box, and I noticed this nice little stop hunt. Now, at the same time, I was looking at the dollar index, and I also noticed that around the time, the 19th and the 20th, there is a nice little stop hunt around the 92 level, in which there was a nice little double bottom here and a beautiful stop hunt here. So the moment that I seen this, and I was looking at the USD CAD, I said, you know what? It looks like it's a good time to look for a long. Now, it was around this time where came up with the idea that I was looking for a long, and me and Dave see these accumulation boxes time and time again, and we always see it break out and always come back and take out any breakout traders or any of these retracement traders, and that's exactly what happened. Now the problem is I fell in love with this trade because we were already posting it. This was on August the 20th, and I posted here USD CAD screaming long, right? And you guys can see that alert that right there that I placed. I was waiting too long that, and other members here also, we're wondering why was it a good trade. I was showing them three participants: level traders, breakout traders, retracement traders, and we even had one of our own actually break down the chart for us. This is Cameron, and then we have a very nice chart drawn by Isaiah. Check this out. Just
Whew,
if you guys look
beautiful.
at this, try to stick it in your head and take a picture, because what happened that night is what made me jump in, because I had this idea and I said, wow, this is amazing. And I had an alert set here. It wasn't an actual buy limit. It was just an alert. So what I like to do is I like to wake up, or whatever. Trading is my life. So no matter what, I have time for trading. So when I got that alert, I was going to either wake up or whatever I was doing, look at a price and just kind of see what was happening so I can enter along. And what happens the next morning is that literally right off that, we get that bounce. And this is what I woke up to right here. And I was like, wow, Isaiah drew this up perfectly. I think he made some money off of this, but just to show you how precise we can be sometimes.
Yeah, bro. Like sometimes, guys, we pinch off some insane accurate entries that I'm telling you, those trades can make your fucking week, month, hell, even fucking year because of the tight risk, given that you're managing your risk accordingly as well, and the aggressive risk to reward profiles that you're able to extract. And because we focus on high quality trades, we don't just take 50-50 trades. We generally, a lot of our guys, our method caters to being able to trade with 1.25% to 2.5% per trade. We're aggressive traders. That's why we can make some aggressive returns and aggressive money, is because of the level of risk that we're trading with. It's not for everybody. That risk profile is not for everybody, but a lot of our guys, they eventually cater. They just adapt. The whole point is to adapt shit to yourself that makes sense. Some of our guys don't even trade with those risk controls. They trade with a lot lower because they're more conservative, and that's absolutely fine. But oh man, it's just amazing to see when everybody's adopting the principles, they're understanding it. And the most important thing is you have to understand why you're taking a trade, guys. You have to understand why you're taking a trade. If you don't know why you're taking a trade, your trading career is going to be very short-lived. We've trained a lot of our guys on the principles in understanding how to read the language of the markets. When you look at a price chart, you're learning a new fucking language. You have to learn how to speak that language and decipher what it's trying to communicate to you. The charts are always painting a picture for you. But if you can't pull up a chart and within minutes know several things about it, you don't know what you're doing. And even then, you're still going to fuck up. Just because you can do that doesn't mean you're going to always win. You're going to make mistakes. Sometimes you can do everything right and still lose money. It's just part of the business, man. But, dude, that's awesome. And then Cris, he actually, when he executed a trade, he was actually a little early on the US CAD.
But
And
that's what I was just about to get to. So this
yeah,
is where we're
bro.
at right now. So this was Friday. This was Friday morning, right? So when I woke up, I missed all of this. And at this point, I had fallen in love with the idea, because I said, "Wow, this happened exactly. What happened? It was exactly what I thought was gonna happen." So at this point, I fell in love with the idea. And I remember Dave saying, "I'd stay away, bro. It's Friday. You're pretty much better off just waiting till next week." But I said, "Nope. I'm gonna enter now because um, I just fell in love with that idea." And so I said, you know what? Let me take a one-on-one and see if I can make some money on this. And like Dave said earlier, if you guys don't know pain, it's because you guys have yet to size up, which is totally okay. But when you're risking maybe $1,000, $2,000, you're gonna go through some very dark times when you're in red. I can,
Yeah.
yeah.
It fucks with you, man. It still fucks with me to this day.
Yeah. So I took a nice little one-on-one, and for my surprise, I went through some pain. So this was from Sunday open all the way to about, I would say Monday morning. And I did wake up in the middle of the night and looked at my P&L, and I was just hopeless. I was like $400 away from getting stopped out. And I said, wow, I could either cut my losses, save myself $400, $500. And I said, nope. I'm gonna stick to my guns and just let it play out. shit, it's already $400 that I'm gonna either, you know what I mean, either lose. So might as well just let it play out. I'm gonna enter another trade another different day anyways, risk another $400 or something like that. So might as well stick to this trade. And I wake up, and to my surprise, it misses my stop loss, and I'm at
Oh,
break even at the moment.
show them the fucking live trade because I was it. And that is the beauty of just not fucking with your trades because the idea was sound. We were talking about dollar strength throughout the week, but you know sometimes timing is always an issue. And look at that, man. Woo! Boy, just by a couple of fucking ticks, and now he's at break even, and now he's making money, man. It's
Um,
the beauty of just letting your fucking balls hang sometimes. Sometimes that's just that you can't teach this to fucking people. You can't, man. It's you either learn it through experience or you don't. And it's tough. It's not easy. So like as Chris said, there was just a moment in time where he felt hopeless. And in that moment, he could have literally said, I'm just gonna cut the trade. And imagine the shit that he would have felt when next morning he would have seen it at break even. Like we call that getting raped twice in this business because not only do you lose money and get stopped out, only for the idea to work out in your favor and you not being in it. That is like once again kicking the dog while it's dead, throwing salt on your wounds. And the sad thing is you got no one else to blame but yourself. You got to sit with that demon just gnawing at your fucking ear, just telling you, you fucked up, son. You fucked up big, homie. And it's tough. It's tough. It's not, Chris and I, we've been through this several times. That's why we can always look back at it and laugh at it now. But in those moments, it's not easy. It's tough. And I'm just glad you're at break even, man. And I think the idea is still sound. We could probably definitely get it to run a lot further, clean out those prior structure points, and look to take targets at midpoint. Even if you have to settle for a one-to-one, fuck it. And if you can get more opportunities that are going to give you a chance to add to your position while maintaining your risk parameters, I don't see why the fuck you shouldn't do it. So little by little, guys, it's markets are crazy. They're going to really test you. They're going to test you. And we show you this because we're not afraid of being wrong. There is no ego here. Chris and I, we don't got egos, bro. We're just the guys that are just trying to make this shit happen. In order for you to do that, you need ruthless honesty with yourself. I would say that's probably another quality that you need to possess in order for you to become a successful trader. You need to be ruthlessly honest with yourself. Ignorance and arrogance are the two qualities that will get you fucking killed in this business. Ignorance and arrogance. Not knowing enough, and then arrogance thinking you know more than you actually do. That's the problem. And the markets have humbled Chris and I time and time again to the point where it's once again, it's that lion in the cage, man. Sure, we dip our finger in that cage, but we're careful. So we're just glad to be survivors of the business and still moving forward, still pushing. And Chris and I were very excited for what's to come in our futures, especially as business partners, as we are unfolding or working on new projects day in and day out, month after month. And it's exciting stuff, man. These are exciting times. So that's pretty much what we wanted to touch up on, is just a lot of these psychological elements in terms of what goes on as a trader. Even when you're winning, things happen. Even when you're losing, it's okay, man. It's just part of the process. But I would say the biggest impediment or barrier to your success as a trader is just the mental aspect of this shit, man. Because the mechanics, dude, you could teach the fucking mechanics to anybody.
You could.
You really could. It's just this right here, you can't teach anybody that. So that pretty much wraps this up, man. Before we close out, Chris is just gonna throw you guys a nice little treat on the Aussie yen. He's got a little bit of an idea that he wants to break down with you. And we'll see how it plays out throughout the week. So the idea sound, we're gonna take it as always. That's just what we're all about. And once again, guys, just keep in mind that this is a game of time and process and method and just constantly self-reflecting on yourself.
That's why I'm so glad we went through the psychological factors of this trade, Dave, because sometimes not every win is gonna be pretty. The moment I take profit in this trade, which hopefully it happens, I'm gonna feel so darn good because I went through all that pain just to finally get the fruit of my labor. And I think it's so important that we touch up on that because all you see is someone making money in this game. No one ever talks about the feelings and the emotional like suffering that you have to go through before you get that take profit or you make that money. No one really talks about because no one sees it.
Yeah, bro. Everyone's just showing how easy this shit is and stuff like that, but it's just not, man. Uh, once, even when you're making money, man, it fucks with you. It fucks with you because you, as discretionary traders, like if you're a systemic trader and you just let things be, that's fine too. But we're speaking from a discretionary standpoint where we're making decisions on the fly. Yes, we have quantitative and systemic rules that guide our decision making to enter a trade, but once we're in a trade, that's murky waters for us, man. We're just making decisions on the fucking fly. Whether we got to cut early, let that shit run. Do we take profits early? Do we exit here? Do we run it higher? That is just shit. That's the dynamic part that we can't teach you, man. That's just stuff that you're going to get it or you don't. You learn it or you don't. And everybody trades differently, but that's just the way Chris and I trade, and it makes us fucking money. So we ain't gonna change that for anytime soon. But anyways, here's the Aussie yen, and we're gonna see what we can look for, man. Bias is gonna be short because if we're getting dollar strength, there's gonna be less demand for risk-on currencies and commodity currency pairs. So that might give us an opportunity to look for a short play. This is looking fucking good, bro. Oh my God. Let's just go ahead and break down the basics, man. Let's show them our rules, our criteria very quickly. So first and foremost, guys, we look for significant major levels and minor levels. I don't know if you just want to go ahead and deploy those, Chris.
Of course, we'll start with the 76.
Boom.
Got another one at 76, about
500.
500. Another one at
75.
75, 500.
Yes, sir.
And if you don't mind, Dave, even though we say it so many times, why are these levels important?
This is just basically where big institutions, smart money hedge funds, the retail space, they're transacting off these levels. Nothing works perfect in the trading universe. So just because price approaches that level doesn't mean it's going to immediately deflect. But they're based off whatever bias they have, these are what we call high activity zones, significant price levels, because these are where the bulk of transactions are occurring. And then any breaches outside of those levels are what Chris and I, we refer to as average price fills. Because once again, if big institutions are trying to deploy orders, they're not always going to get the best fill. So these are where the manipulations begin to happen, and where they're deploying a big chunk of their orders based off where they want to move the markets or take the markets. So you as a retail trader, you don't move the fucking market, guys. I want you to understand that. You don't move the markets. The guy with the biggest wallet wins in this business. And quite frankly, this is $1 trillion market. So even if you have millions of dollars in your account, you're just a fucking fish in this business, man. You're a guppy. So the round numbers, the round solid even numbers are significant. The midpoints or the 50s for us, they're minor levels. They're still important, but a high amount of focus and intensity goes into the solid round numbers. And at that point, once our levels are deployed, then we start going through our list. So we deploy our round numbers first. Then we deploy our any tools that we can use against traders. So I don't know if you want to draw a trend line depicting that uptrend. And once we got that break of structure on that uptrend, bro, boom. And then look at where we had our break of structure on a horizontal scale around the 76,500. Price was working that fucking level, and then boom, breached that neckline underneath the 76,300 around there, 76,200. And price broke, retested the level. Now we got a confirmed range. Why? Because there's several touches at support, 2 touches at resistance. We're starting to get some traps formed. That was another step of our criteria. I don't know if you want to draw a nice little zone at that little level of support around the 75,600, bro. You see where you get those contact points at the lows? Right around the 75. There you go, man. There you go. Confirmed range. Several contact points at resistance. Minimum 2 contact points at support. We got ourselves a range. We're getting sellers take shorts at that level of resistance. Trap, no follow through. We know where they're still profitable. We know where liquidity is residing up above that, right above that high, right where you started to get that little selling pressure around the 76,200. Liquidity is just sitting there. There's a pool and a bulk of liquidity up at those highs. So we got a break of structure from a trend line on a horizontal scale. We've identified significant levels, minor levels. We started to get that impulsive move to the downside, attracting sellers. Buyers caught on the wrong side of the trade. Once you got that retest, they're all breaking even, exiting, scratching for a loss, flipping their positions. Now you're getting a nice little accurate range form, and you got that little trap, that deceptive price action that is enticing retail traders to take that short, and you're not really getting any significant follow through. So we can safely assume with a high degree of accuracy and confidence that they're still holding their trades. They're still holding profitable trades. So if those levels have yet to be invalidated, odds are 9 times out of 10, it is a high probabilistic outcome that those highs will be breached. When those highs are breached, that will be our opportunity to act. Where would we take profits? We discussed this in our other video. We would take profits at the midpoint, which looks at the 75,800 level. That looks like a solid place to take your first target at midpoint if you can pinch off a nice accurate entry. 75,600, second target. If you want to go balls to the walls and hold an extended target like that, fuck the midpoint. You just take the 75,600 as your first target and hold an extension down at 75,200. That looks pretty good to us. Maybe even run it down to the solid 75 past that, because we know buyers are still holding profitable trades there. We've discussed this several times. The markets seek out liquidity. The markets move where the money is at. Follow the money, as they say. If you don't know where the money is sitting at, you're not going to really know where to take your targets. You're not going to know how far you could run a trade. This is why retail traders struggle. This is why you guys see your trades in the money and you start holding it because you're trying to catch fucking thousands of pips when the market isn't going to give you that. It's not going to give you that. You need to know where to take targets. And sure, even if it moves further past your targets, so what? Be grateful that you took money. Be in, be out. That's what we do as day traders. We're intraday traders. Sometimes we'll swing some trades, but as we've discussed prior, Chris and I were short to medium term discretionary, quantitative and technical currency day traders. That's just is what we do. We like that fast money, man. So we've developed a system that helps take advantage of intraday volatility. So that's the idea that we got on that, man. It looks so fucking good, guys. If we're being honest, that shit looks good. So we hope that this analysis was of value to you, that you were able to extract some gems of wisdom. And you guys have to see, when you have method, you just know how to break down the chart like nobody's business. Can we be wrong? Absolutely, we can be wrong. What does that mean? That means manage your fucking risk. That's what that means. Stop trying to take that lottery trade, man. Like this is the trade. It's never the trade. It's never the trade. You need to always go in with the trade with the mentality of protecting your downside, but trying to maximize your upside. And the only way you're going to do that is through consistency, managing your risk very, very well, and being able to extract some aggressive risk to reward profiles. Over time, you do that, I'm confident that you will be successful as a trader. So anything else you want to add to that, Chris?
Stick to your guns.
Stick to your motherfucking guns, bro. Let your nuts hang. Nut up or shut up in this business. And this is the stuff that nobody talks about, man. Or if they do, it rarely gets spoken about. The mechanics are the easy part, man. Executing a trade is the easy part, guys. That's what we want you to understand. It's just when you're in a trade, that's when shit gets a little bit messy. But don't be so quick to call it quits, because it's only over when you decide it's over. If someone like Cris and I can do it, we don't see why you can't. So that's pretty much it. We hope that this video was of immense value. Thank you so much for all the support, guys. We're almost at 100 subscribers. That just means so much to Cris and I, because what that is indicating to us is that you guys find enough value in our content to even want to be a consistent subscriber to our channel. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for all the likes, the supports, the comments, the feedback, the positivity, man. We genuinely and greatly appreciate that from the bottom of our hearts. Cris and I were sincerely grateful for that. If you love our content, hit that like button, leave a comment down below if there's anything that you want us to cover. Leave some feedback, leave a comment, hit that notification bell button if you want to stay up to date with any of our content. And that's pretty much it, man. Trade safe, trade smart, trade well, have fun with this shit, and just know that we love every single one of you. And stick to the plan, man. If it's meant to be, it will be. So that's all I have to say on my end. Last call for you, Cris. You got anything to add to that, brother?
I love you, brother.
I love you to hell and back, man. Let's get this shit. Let's kill it like we always do. And I'm excited for what's to come. So that wraps up this video. Have a good night. Stay blessed, y'all. Stay hungry. Let's kill it. Deuces.